Time to start again. Got into town late last night. Didn't book a room. Frankly, I didn't even bother to check if there was an inn. I walked straight to the castle and pitched my tent right out front. There were 4 others already set up, and by the time I got my things in order, 2 more had arrived. I didn't sleep a wink last night. Should have, but didn't. Typical. I'm the first up. I haven't taken anything down so I wouldn't wake the others. Currently sitting on a ridge overlooking the valley. There's a great view of the town from here. It's a quaint little place. Reminds me of Hollowbrook, but with fewer sanctums. Actually, I doubt if they have any. Not that I could go anyhow. Hard to think all this was destroyed a couple years ago, and by a dragon no less. Wonder what a dragon was doing this far south. Maybe if the town had a sanctum or 2, it would have deterred it from attacking. Probably not. Sounds like someone's up. Time to take everything down and wait. I hate waiting. Stars above, I can't believe how big this place is, and how many duelists are already here. The event hasn't even started, and yet there are 100 tents spread out around the arena. It didn't hit me till now just how insane this is. So many people from places I've only read of or heard about. Techies from New Aether, freelances from Highgate, mages from Navia and McFortress. Men and women of every shape, every size, and armed with every type of weapon imaginable. Now swords, daggers, polearms I can handle, but throw me in with a mage? Well, I'll have to cross that bridge eventually. For now, I need to find an opponent. Just remember why you're here. No luck so far. I first scouted the dueling arena, but no one watching was keen on chatting. Tried the training field next, but all who were there already had an opponent or were recovering from their first duels. I'm surprised how many clean cloaks there are here. I haven't seen this much overswinging since basic training. I gave a few people some pointers, even had a short spar with a techie, but nothing else. Nothing from today. I hate having to talk to this many people. Remember why you're here. Been spending most of my time at the training grounds. That blonde guardsman Violet pops in every once in a while to see how everyone's faring. She usually gives tips and pointers, like to that Aether techie today. But then there's this one guy. He's been hovering around the field the last couple of days. His name's Kiernan, some sort of magician. He occasionally chats, but he mostly watches and heckles. The others laugh. I don't. I wonder what he wants, or why he's even here if he's just going to treat it all so lightly. I saw Kiernan with a group of duelists. He spoke so effortlessly, and everyone listened and laughed at what he had to say. He waves his arms and he makes faces and he acts a fool, and everyone seems to like him for it. Why? And why, though I've just met him, do I feel such contempt towards him? He told me yesterday I'm too serious for my own good. I think he's right. But I also think he's wasted an opportunity. Haven't seen him so much as twirl that little dagger he carries, let alone cast a spell. Stop it. I need to stop worrying about him and everyone else. I only need to focus on me and what I can do. I can't waste this chance. Don't waste this chance. Finally found someone. A techie from Aether named Xera. Terrible name, and with all the augmentations, she comes across as artificial, both in beauty and personality. But she is one of the few duelists who attends the practice field regularly. She was the one I sparred with on that first day. She's good. Decent agility, but slow reflexes. Uses some sort of electrical polearm. I'll need to get in close either way, but not too close or else my sword won't be effective. We duel in 2 days. Maybe this time I'll feel it again. I saw Kiernan's fight. He puts on a good show. Literally. He walked into the arena carrying nothing but a butterfly net. Turns out he's an illusionist, and while his opponent, some scrawny teen from Bath with a pair of nunchucks, charged at him, Kiernan would bob and weave while conjuring fake butterflies and cicadas and would start chasing those instead. Then he would make ethereal bugs on the kid's hands, on his head, on his backside, would swat at them. And the entire crowd roared with laughter with each humiliating strike. Kiernan finally got the kid's head caught in the net, allowing him to finish the fight before it even started. He approached me after. He said,
"Now do you get it? That's the whole point of this. The only thing to outmatch your wit with the blade is your wit to entertain."
I said nothing. I should have said that there are plenty of ways to amuse without putting others down. No matter what, I need to make sure I give Xera the respect she deserves as my combatant.
My dear Alistar, I hope I find you in good health and company since my last letter. Lord only knows you need both now that I'm gone. If not, fret not. For your dear and humble friend Kiernan will provide you with words enough to entertain even the dullest of saps, not unlike yourself. I must say you are spot on with your description of this place. It pales in comparison to even the smallest villages in Navia, and the castle is rather lackluster compared to those in McFortress, but there's this air of serenity to the whole place. I find it quite amusing. Nearly as amusing as all the rabble that has come for this event. Most of them have no experience or knowledge of even the basic forms of combat. They just know the names of some major clans and their leaders, and that alone gives them reason and encouragement enough to go toe-to-toe with former soldiers and mercenaries. And then on the other hand, there are those who are so consumed with the art of the blade that they completely lack any sense of amiability or fun. Take this one fellow Nash, for instance. By the way he carries himself and speaks to people, you can tell he's experienced in combat, but not in dueling. He practices every day, he polishes his sword, and he watches others train. But he does not do the one thing you're supposed to do at events like these. Socialize. You'll remember, Alistair, back at school, when I was blessed by my presence. Did I ever pass up the opportunity to make a connection? Was there a function or party I did not attend? Of course not. Because with a proper network, it doesn't matter how skilled or practiced you are. With the right people, you can get anywhere and anything your heart desires. So far, I'm the only one who seems to understand that. That said, I can't help but take a liking to this drab Nash character. And I will give credit where credit is due. He somewhat surprised me. Take his first duel with one of those aether freaks, a girl named Xera. He came out onto the arena floor, chillingly calm and collected. The start of my first duel performance was terrible. I was so anxious. More anxious than I was my first day as a sentinel. I got onto the arena platform and just froze. It was like my mind took every instruction and lesson on engaging an enemy combatant and threw it out. He stood as stoically as those silly sentinels in the desert. But rest assured, even after seeing his swordplay during practice, I could tell by the sincerity of his demeanor, he knew exactly what he was doing. My body fell into position while my mind went completely blank. And at the starting sound from Violet, both opponents bolted with surprising speed. Nash towards his opponent. Holy starlight, she was fast. And the girl away from hers. With every slash and strike, she was just out of reach. And thus the two danced. Nash on the offensive and the girl on the defensive. Wonder how much those cybernetics were improving her speed. Now you may have guessed as soon as I mentioned the girl was from Aether that she probably had those damned augmentations, and you'd be right. And yet, even with those infernal enhancements, Nash was still able to keep up. I'm too stiff. Need to work on my flexibility. He even pulled a convincing feint. I telegraphed too much. And then I had to go and trip right after. He tripped right after, but the freak was still thrown off balance. Nash recovered with a somersault, and, with his opponent's polearm in an awkward position to be used effectively, he rushed forward to strike. And then the little freak split her weapon in half. Idiot. I should have known there was something else to her. I never saw her practice dual wielding, but I thought it was odd that she would get any tips from Violet during training, since Violet specializes in archery. Archery and dual wielding, stupid. Nash was on the back foot. Strike after strike after strike, Xera unleashed a vicious barrage of blows. Adept as he was with the sword, Nash couldn't keep up. He was struck. A blunt hit on the hand, a slash to the arm, a stab to the side. Glad the cape still works, right? Blade hardly went through it all. Still hurt like hell. He swept away an attack from the right, letting his gloved hand free. And when the attack came from the left, with the head of the weapon coming towards his neck, Nash stepped aside, grasped onto his enemy's blade, and twisted. The girl's arm bent, her body leaning in the direction of the twist. Nash shifted, pulled the girl towards him, and brought his knee into her gut. The two separated, with Nash still holding on to half of Xera's weapon. With deft aim, he threw the blade, slicing Xera's metal arm. A shower of sparks fell from the now-cut augmentation, and Nash, using the distraction, rushed forward. The girl tried to raise the remains of her weapon, but was too slow. Nash caught the pitiful stick with his blade, throwing it from his opponent's grasp, and with a great collision, the two collapsed onto the arena floor. What a victorious sight. Nash, his knee pinning Xera's weapon hand to her chest, left hand wrestling with her free hand, and the right hand gripping the sword aimed at the girl's throat. And then that wondrous sound of applause. Not as loud as the applause I received, but respectable nonetheless. And to no surprise, Nash assisted his foe to her feet. I asked if she was all right. She said yes. I told her thanks for giving it her all. She didn't say much after that. They shook each other's hands, and with a slight bow to our gilded host, the two departed for the medical tent. I believe I even caught a smile from our victor. Now, neither one is remarkable, but I do spy potential. What think you, Alistar? I was lousy. Or maybe I'm just expecting too much. That sounds like something Cheryl would say. I wonder what they would think about me winning. Mom probably wouldn't speak to me again for hurting a woman. Good thing she'll never know. Sometimes I regret not telling them I left. They'd have told me to stay, that there's plenty of work back home to keep me busy, to keep my mind from wandering back to that valley. Or they'd say it's against my oaths, that the Sentinel Star will not shine upon me. Little do they know it only shines for men of honor, something I left in that valley alongside Aaron's corpse. Even if all the hosts of heaven shine upon me, it would fall on nothing but blackness. For all that's left is me, and I am nothing. It did feel good, though. Winning. For a moment, it felt like I was someone else. Someone other than Nash Alberon. So I'll do it again. Till I feel like someone else for good. Time to start again.